Like you have said,
Mm,
like you have introduced me, I'm David Abiodun once again, a Yoruba historian. Moremi Ajasoro,
mm,
as she's usually called, she signifies might, she signifies valor, she signifies liberty in the history of the Ile-Ife people and Yoruba race at large. Her deed, her courageous deed then,
mm,
liberated the people of Ife
mm,
and Yoruba land at large
mm.
from the dreadful people of Ugbo Kingdom. When I say Ugbo Kingdom, not Igbo people, oh, not Igbo people of the eastern region. Ugbo Kingdom is in Ondo State of Nigeria.
Mm.
But as things go on, I would analyze further
Okay.
on Moremi Ajasoro.
Okay, this woman, this powerful woman in the history of the Yoruba culture, because I'm from the Benin culture, we also have a woman
Okay.
that personifies strength, resilience. Her name is Idian Yesige. She was the first woman that fought a war in the history of Benin. Till
Mm.
date, we still celebrate her and honor her for the commitment and the dedication for, especially to maintain and retain the monarch of the Benin Kingdom. So, is there any song affiliated with this, the history of Moremi?
Yes, there is a song, a very popular song amidst the Yoruba people that they sing about this Moremi. It goes thus: Moremi Ajasoro, Moremi Ajasoro, ewúrẹ́ o fún mi mémọ̀ gbá o. Moremi Ajasoro, àgùntàn tó o fún mi mémọ̀ gbá o. Moremi Ajasoro. So that's how the song goes.
Beautiful, beautiful. I
Yeah.
love the Yoruba songs. The culture is very rich. We can't wait. Um,
Thank you so much for appreciating us.
we can't wait for the history. Go ahead and tell
Okay,
us the full history of this powerful woman in the history of the Yoruba culture.
okay. Like I said earlier, Moremi Ajasoro
Yeah.
was a very powerful woman. She was powerful, and as powerful as she was then, she was also very beautiful. Her beauty could be compared to none then. Now, let me go into the details of her life history. Moremi originally hailed from Offa. Offa is a town in the modern day Kwara state of Nigeria.
Mm,
She originally hailed from there,
mm,
and she married Oromiyan. Oromiyan happened to be the king of Ife then.
mm,
Oromiyan is the grandson
mm,
of Oduduwa. Oduduwa, who happens to be the
mm,
grand patron of the Yoruba descent.
mm,
So Queen Moremi was in the palace. She was married by Oromiyan. Oromiyan was also a very powerful king then,
mm,
but something unusual happened to the people of Ife back then.
mm,
What happened? Some invaders began to invade them. It's a normal thing during the time of yore, during the olden days then, for
mm.
people to fight war, for communities to fight war, for tribes to fight war then.
Tribal wars.
Tribal war, thank you. But the one that unfolded then was a different one, because the people who were fighting with the Ife people then
Mm,
were seen as non-human. They were seen as mysterious beings, because they have a kind of look that portray them as a mysterious being. They don't have the normal look of human.
mm,
There is a kind of thing that outgrow from their body like this,
mm,
that makes them looks more like a mythical creature.
mm,
So then they began to invade Ife. When they invade the people of Ife, their language was not familiar. In fact, they don't sound like human. So had it been they sounded like human then, The people of Ife could have traced them and traced the kind of language they spoke back then, so as to know their lineage. But unfortunately, they never sounded like human. So to cut the long story short, they when they invade Ife like that, they will ransack the whole place. They will enslave a lot of people. They will take them from there and take them to an unknown land. The king of Ife, the chiefs of Ife, the notable people of Ife, and everybody in Ife began to 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 go in worrisome.
mm,
They were not stable. Things were not going well. They cannot exercise their livelihood in peace because they believe these people can invade them at any time.
time. They were terrorizing them.
They were terrorizing them to the core. And when they come, there are some certain measures that are being used in civil war, in tribal war back then. In Yoruba Yoruba war tactic, normally you don't enslave a king or a notable person. You either excommunicate them from the town, or you just leave them and take their people. But then the Ugbo people were not ready to spare anybody. Now, this began. This happened for ages. It happened for time immemorial.
Mm,
Now, Moremi Ajasoro now decided, because people have tried to revolt against these people. The Ile-Ife people have tried all measures to revolt against these people, but all effort seems effortless. So at the end of the day, this courageous queen Moremi, I said earlier that she used to be very beautiful. She was a very beautiful queen. So she decided to consult Ifa.
mm,
Ifa is the oracle of the Yoruba people,
mm,
the god of knowledge, the god of wisdom in the Yoruba among the Yoruba people.
mm,
So she consulted Ifa to know what she can do before in order to conquer these people, in order for her to lead her people to conquer these unknown people. So Ifa, as the oracle is normally called among Yoruba, Ifa admonished her that she should go to a river. A river, the river is in Ife up till today. The river is called Eshimirin, Eshimirin River. So she was asked to go and appease Eshimirin River. So within a twinkle of an eye, Moremi went to Eshimirin River, and when she got there, she appeased the goddess of the river
mm,
and promised the goddess of the river that if she could, if the goddess could look after her and could give her the tactic that she can use to lead her people to conquer these people,
mm,
she will be forever indebted to the goddess.
mm,
And at the peak of her enthusiasm to conquer the Ugbo people,
mm,
she told the goddess of the Eshimiri River
mm.
that if she could go safely and come back safely, she will give her her only child. She will offer her only child to the goddess of the river of Eshimiri.
Ooh, mm,
The name of Moremi's child
mm,
was Oluorogbo.
mm,
Oluorogbo was the only child Moremi had, and he was a son.
mm.
So after saying this, Moremi went back to the palace, and she was expectant of the Ugbo people to raid again. When the Ugbo people when they raided again,
Mm.
Moremi Moremi purposely she released herself. She never let them see her as a queen. She just dressed like a commoner, and she released herself to the Ugbo people. Thus she was taken with her the slaves that they came to take then. So on getting back to the Ugbo kingdom, I said earlier that these people were not in human form.
Mm.
When they got back to the Ugbo kingdom, the first thing Moremi noticed was that aside the people who came to raid them,
mm.
other people are in human form. They are just human like you and I. What
Oh,
could be happening? She noticed the foul play. She noticed that something is fishy.
mm,
So she decided to be calm. So due to the appeasement she had made to the goddess of the river of Eshimiri,
mm,
the goddess opened the eye of the king to the beauty of Moremi. So the king of Ugbo kingdom, I said Moremi is a queen in
mm.
Ife.
Ife, yeah.
So the goddess of Eshimiri river opened the eyes of the king of Ugbo kingdom, popularly referred to as Olu. The goddess opened his eyes to the beauty of Moremi, and he couldn't resist her beauty, even though she was a slave then.
Mm,
So he summoned one of the guards and said they should go and bring Moremi. When they brought her, she decided to take Moremi as his wife, unknown to him that Moremi is a queen of Ife. So
oh,
gradually, Moremi began to gain her freedom within the palace of the Ugbo kingdom.
mm,
She began to gain her freedom gradually by gradually. She began to gain the trust of the chiefs. So, out of the love that the king had for her, the king decided to, the king wanted to have sex with her, but she refused and said, so far that the king has decided to marry her, she
mm.
is no more a slave and she must do the needful. She must go to her people and go and ask for her hand in marriage in the rightful manner before
Voilà.
she could allow him rather. So gradually, Moremi began to gain the trust of the chiefs and began to know the weaknesses of them. So
Mm,
it was on a fateful day,
mm,
Moremi called one of the guards. When she called one of the guards,
mm,
she interrogated him. They believe she has been part and parcel of them.
mm,
She asked what was behind the power of these people who were invading Ife kingdom.
mm,
So the guard just released the information. He said, "Oh, these people are not mysterious creatures though.
yeah,
They only wrap themselves
mm,
with palm frond,
mm.
dried palm frond. That
Oh,
raffia leaf, they will cover themselves with it from head to toes.
to disguise themselves.
So guys, just like a costume.
Mm,
So once they get to the boundaries of Ife, they will
mm.
not talk like human again. They will begin to they will begin to talk as if they are not human. They will begin to talk in sounds. They will begin to talk in sounds and in gesticulations. So that was how Moremi got to know that the people who have been invading Ife for long are not mysterious
Great.
beings.
Yeah. Mm,
At the end of the day,
mm,
she found her way to escape from the Ugbo palace. When she escaped from the Ugbo palace,
mm,
she went to her hometown in Ife. When she got to Ife,
mm.
immediately she swung into action because she knew that the people of Ugbo are set already to come and enslave them again, to come and raid them again. So she encouraged the people of Ife, the
Mm,
women of Ife,
mm,
and also the men to light a torch,
mm,
as seen in the image in the background here. You
mm.
can see Moremi is holding a torch, an
Oh,
indigenous torch.
mm, 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 mm,
So they lit the torch
mm,
and were getting ready for the Ugbo people to invade as usual.
mm.
When the Ugbo people came, well, they never noticed that something bitter is about to happen to them. They never knew that they were about to meet with their Waterloo.
Mm.
So when they got to Ife, immediately the people revolted with the torch. When they revolted with the torch, they began to with the torch, they began to burn the raffias in the body of the Ugbo invaders. So by then, those people suffered a lot of burns. The Ugbo invaders suffered a lot of burns, and immediately they ran back to their town.
Mm.
Some of them couldn't run back, they burnt. Some of them were apprehended.
Mhm.
So that was how Moremi led the people of Ife to
Wow.
conquer their longtime enemy,
Yes.
their enemy whom they believe that they can never conquer.
Bad.
So it was a very show of valor of Moremi
Mm.
to have taken such steps, to have taken such bold steps,
Mm.
even when the mighty men of the town couldn't revolt at a time like that.
She was smart, brilliant.
Yes, she was smart, she
Mm.
was brilliant, and she maneuvered perfectly back to
Mm.
Ife when she
Exactly.
was to perform her people.
Wow.
So Moremi then was celebrated by everybody in Ife and the whole of Yoruba land,
Mhm.
because Ife is the source of the Yoruba people and it remained the headquarters of the Yoruba people till date.
Mm.
So after the events, after the whole events,
Mm.
Moremi went back to uh, Eshimiri River, to the river goddess, to go and thank her and to go and appease her, to go and give her her promise. But after Moremi had conquered the war,
Mm.
Moremi believed that she could appease the goddess with the finest, with the biggest of goats, with the biggest of rams,
Mm.
instead of her one and only son that she had promised.
Mm.
But when she got back to the river, to the Eshimiri River,
Mm.
the story turned out to be very bitter,
Oh.
because she offered goats, she offered ram. The river goddess said, I can never collect that. I can never receive that. You promised me your only son, and yes, I shall only receive your only son.
Oh.
Where the song I sang initially set in. So the song says, like I said initially,
Again, sing it again.
Moremi Ajasoro, Moremi Ajasoro, ewúrẹ́ ò fún mi mèmọ́ gbá o. Moremi Ajasoro, àgùntàn tó o fún mi mèmọ́ gbá o. Moremi Ajasoro. This simply means, let me translate this in English. It means,
Mm.
Moremi Ajasoro, the goat and ram you have brought to me, I won't collect.
Oh.
Moremi Ajasoro. Whatever you bring to me, I won't collect, except your only son that you have promised.
Mm.
That was how Moremi bitterly gave up her only child to the Eshimiri goddess.
Oh.
Only was offered to the Eshimiri goddess, and it transited immediately. He was seen no more. So
Mm.
for the whole people of Ife, it
Mm.
was a good story. But for Moremi as a person, it all ended in bitter,
Yeah, tragedy.
ended sorrow in sorrow and in tragedy.
Mm.
So the people of Ife, even after the death of Moremi,
Mm.
took it as a point of duty to celebrate her annually
Mm.
with a festival called Edi Festival. We call it Odun Edi, Odun Edi, Edi
Od-
Festival.
Odunedi.
AD, yes. It's a festival in Ife. It happens annually. In fact, if not for this whole pandemic,
Mm.
we at this time of the year,
Mm.
they should be exercising. They should be getting ready for the festival.
Mm. Mm.
At that time, the women of the town will light a torch. People will light a torch throughout the town.
Mm.
They will begin to move around, and
Mm.
some other appeasement will be done to Moremi. because Moremi has been deified as a god in
God.
Ife, as a goddess rather, in Ife, because the people of Ife knew how important what she did for them
Then,
is to today.
oh,
So, in fact, the incumbent king of Ife, the incumbent Oni of Ife,
yeah.
has been so he didn't take the issue of Moremi, he didn't take the statue of Moremi with levity hand. He
Hmm.
has been doing all he can to promote that image, to
Mage.
promote that woman of valor,
Yes, the sacrifice she
the
made.
sacrifice she made for her people, because hardly can we see someone who can make such sacrifice.
Yeah, she lost her only
Her
child
only son, her only child which she had
to,
then,
to save the Ife
to
people.
save to save the whole people. So Moremi remained one of the female warlords, uh,
Mm.
one of the female image of courage that we have in
Yeah,
Yoruba land up till today.
it's wonderful.
So that's how the story goes. Then I need to make some clarifications
Yeah.
because
What date of the year the Ife people commemorate Moremi?
well,
What
it's
date, a specific date that the
no
Ife people celebrated
there is no
Moremi?
specific date, but it usually come up between April or May, between one of the 2 months, April or May.
Okay.
So when the time for the festival is getting closer, the town crier will announce throughout the town. And now that we are in the media life, we are in the
Mm,
media age now, it
mm,
will be announced on radio and television stations in Ife.
mm. So the statue of Moremi is located at where in Ife? Close to the palace?
Yes, close to the palace. The statue is one of the is I think is the second highest statue in Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm,
Second highest statue in Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
mm,
So the incumbent Ooni of Ife
mm,
erected it. But aside that, there had been a lot of statues in Ife, a lot of Moremi statues in Ife. We
mm,
have a lot in the palace. We
mm,
have a lot of them even in the town,
mm,
even in Obafemi Awolowo University campus. We
mm.
have a statue there. So
Wow.
that is it. Then the clarification I just want to quickly make is that
Mm,
people are always mistaking the Ugbo people, like I said earlier, with the Igbo people of the East, because this story is very common. No,
okay.
the Ugbo people have no affiliation with the Igbo people of the East. They
Okay.
are they are in Ondo State in the southwest here.
Okay.
So their kingdom is called Ugbo Kingdom in Ilaje local government.
In Ondo, right?
Yes, their incumbent king is Oba Frederick Akinruntan Obateru. That's the name of their king.
Okay. Oh,
Oba Frederick Akinruntan Obateru.
because in Ondo they have the Ilaje people, they have the Ikale people in Ondo.
Yes, the Owo people, the Ondo proper. There are lots of tribes for Ondo.
And
So
the language is a little bit different because I know the Ikale language, the Laje language is a little bit different
exactly,
from the
it's
Yorubas in Oyo or in Ile-Ife, for
in
instance.
fact it's totally different with the Yoruba Oyo.
Mhm.
The Yoruba Oyo
Mm,
is the closest Yoruba to the common Yoruba,
mm,
because there is a general Yoruba which uh, which serve as a link between all tribe. You know, aside that we have dialects.
mm,
So the Ondo dialect, even among the Ondo people, there are
mm,
different dialects. The Ikale dialect is slightly different from that of the Ondo proper. That of the Ondo proper is
mm,
slightly different from that of those in Ikaram,
mm.
and so on and so forth.
Wow.
So, but the Oyo Yoruba
Mm.
is the one that links every one of us together.
Mm. But you are not from Ile-Ife.
No, I am not from Ile-Ife. I am from Ekiti State.
So,
Ado Ekiti to be precise.
okay. But all Yorubas, for instance, the Yorubas from the Oyo, from the Ondo, Ogun, they still believe in the history of Moremi, even though the incident didn't happen in their land at that time. You understand?
Of course, they believed
Mm,
in the history of Moremi. Now, let me chip in something there. As at when the history of Moremi happened, most notable kingdom in Yoruba land have not been established. Even Oyo hadn't been established. Oyo,
mm,
which happened to be a notable town in Yoruba land, has
mm.
not been established as at when the story of Moremi happened.
Okay, understand.
All in Ife,
Mm, 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 mm,
Oromiyan, the husband of Moremi,
mm,
was the one who created Oyo. He was the one who created Oyo, and he was the first king, the first Alaafin of Oyo.
mm, mm,
So his first son,
mm,
Ajaka, was the second Alaafin of Oyo.
mm,
His third son, Shango, was
mm,
the third Alaafin of Oyo, and so on and so forth. So
mm.
every Yoruba race are descendants of Ife.
Okay.
When you
Okay.
get to Ife today, a lot of the towns we have
Mm,
that form Yoruba towns, they all have quarters in Ife. They
mm.
all have their quarters in Ife. Oyo have their quarters in Ife, Owu have their quarters in Ife, Remo have their quarters in Ife, and so on and so forth.
So all the Yoruba people are descendants of Ile-Ife.
Yes, Ile-Ife remains the source up till today.
That is what the history is saying, right?
That is what this history is saying, and the history has been proven. It has been established by so many scholars. I believe in subsequent times that we'll be having together. I believe that I will be able to say some other interesting stories. Some other is I will be able to illuminate some stories that have been causing controversies
Okay.
amidst the Yoruba people.
Next
Yes,
time we're going
yes,
to elaborate on that. That will be a different topic entirely.
exactly, exactly.
The Ife people, how all Yorubas are all offshoots of the
Of
Ile-Ife.
Ile-Ife, exactly.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this wonderful history. I learned so
You're
much
welcome.
today. Very interesting. I never knew there is a woman in the history of the Yoruba people because we have something similar in the Benin culture as well. India,
Okay.
yeah, Queen Idia. Queen Idia was the mother of a king that she became the first woman that fought a war in the history of
Mm.
just like Queen Moremi,
Moremi Ajasoro.
the same thing in Benin Kingdom that we celebrate the Queen Idia for her dedication and resilience, especially for maintaining and retaining the monarch.
Mm.
The Ida people, I think the Ida people are from Kogi State or something. It's a, the Ida
Okay.
people are from Kogi State. So they brought war to Benin Kingdom, wanted to come and claim the kingdom. But this woman she stood firm, and at that time, the Benin people had a very strong relationship with the Portuguese. So the
Mm.
king of Portugal at that time sent some Portuguese armies to join the Benin Kingdom to fight war
Okay.
against the Ida people. So it was the
Mm.
first time in that part of the world that sophisticated weapons were
Where
used to fight tribal
mm.
wars. You know, normally they used to use all those tribal way of fighting wars, spear,
Yes.
all that. So
So because the Portuguese were involved.
involved, it was the first time. I know you are enjoying the story just as the way I enjoyed your
Of
telling the
course, of
story.
course, of course.
so, so it was the first time that sophisticated weapons were used to fight tribal wars in that part of Africa at that
Oh,
time.
okay.
So it's very interesting. And to date, we still commemorate Idia, Queen Idia, for her dedication in the history of Benin. So you
Yes.
see, Festa, uh, Festa at in Lagos, the
Okay.
Festa
Yes, yes.
in Lagos is the mask of Queen Idia.
Oh, I know that mask. I know the mask. I'm very familiar with it.
Yes, so many Nigerians, I think they know the mask. So, the Festac symbol is the mask of Queen Idia.
Okay, 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 okay. Well, I believe that's an abridged version of the history. I'll look forward to hearing the full version of the history
Yes,
subsequently.
sure, sure. We have many videos on our YouTube channel where we
Mhm.
discuss the full history of Queen Idia. You can check on Nebo TV
Okay,
channel. Yes,
okay, okay,
we have a documentary specifically
okay.
that. Yeah. So
I'll
thank you
do that.
so much, David Abiodun. I so
You're
much
welcome.
enjoyed the story. I can't wait to host you next time so that
Thank you very much, mother.
we'll discuss another topic about the history of the Yoruba people. I like the song. I like the story. The Queen
Okay.
Moremi, she was such a powerful woman and so brilliant. She was brilliant,
Hmm.
and moreover, she sacrificed only her child to
Yes, I want
save.
a child.
Yes, it shows that she was very patriotic at that time. So
Exactly.
she deserved all the whole celebration and commemoration that the Yoruba people have been celebrating her. I think
Yes,
she
yes.
deserves it. Yeah. So thank you so much, David Abiodun. And next
You're
time I will
welcome.
bring you back so that we discuss more about the Yoruba culture, history, and the food, the language. I would like to also learn the Yoruba language a little bit. I know that I understand a little bit Yoruba language, but I would love to learn more. I hope you will teach me the
Problem,
songs,
problem.
like the song you sang about Moremi. Interesting.
Hmm.
Before we leave,
Thank
you can sing that song for us one more time. Then let me see some people. I love that song. I want to practice
you.
this song before you leave today. I'll practice it so that I will sing it to my Yoruba friends. Eh, Moremi. Wait, let me see some comments.
Okay.
Where is it that see community let us speak Edo and Yoruba? Who say? Yeah, that's a good question. Ah,
Okay.
there's one question, but this question, I think we have to direct this question. He said, I want to read the question. He said,
Okay.
why is it that Use community in Edo State speak Edo and Yoruba? That is a very good question. Thank you, Omo Nikki, or what? Thank you so much. That is a good question. I think this question will go to the Bini people, Bini historians. All right.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
This type of question should go to Bini historians, right?
Well,
Uh,
yes, yes, but I still believe that,
mm,
uh, like we have always argued, like a lot of people have always argued,
mm,
both Benin and Yoruba have some kind of have
relationship.
some things in common. We have some relationship, either we like it or not,
Not
either
yes.
we make it controversial or not.
Mm, yeah,
So, but I will leave it to the Benin historian, like you have said.
mm, yes. Yeah, it's good for the Bini historians to
Mm,
analyze something that has to do with the Bini Edo land. So
yes, yes,
so anything about the Yoruba, because when it comes to the relationship between the Yoruba people and it's very controversial, it's very sensitive. Anytime you try
it,
to discuss about it, you will see people, this one will say, oh my God, it's so controversial. Sometimes I
it is,
don't
it
just
is.
want to discuss about it anymore. It is time
Mm,
for us to start accepting our relationship in a peaceful manner. Okay.
yeah.
More because close communities. Yeah. So there are questions here, but these questions, why did Oromiyan marry Moremi? Is it before coming to be? No, I don't. Listen, this question, I know that is a good question. Let's reserve it for Imasuen. Imasuen will answer that. Okay. David, thank you so much. Next time, what story will you tell us on Nebo TV? Hmm,
Mm,
can you
well,
brainstorm?
sorry, you said?
I said, can you brainstorm any story in your head that you will come and
Well, there are loads of stories. There are loads of stories.
okay,
But before you will be hosting me, I will notify you so
okay,
that you can put it up here and people will be expectant.
okay, okay then.
All right. Now.
Thank you and God bless you for this story. I enjoyed the story. I hope
Amen.
everybody who is watching right now enjoyed, the wonderful history of this great, brilliant, powerful woman, Moremi. Uh,
Yes. I hope so too.
Yes, thank you, Abiodun. So see you
You're
next
welcome.
time. Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
God bless you.
Thank you.